Hello, this is Thomas from Noëma. I hope you're fine. In the last video, I shared with you some information about a song that we're working on, which is called On the Wave. And today, I will work a little bit on the drums recording, which were done by very talented Raphael Giller. And so let's jump into the DAW, which is in my case Cubase, and see what I have done. This is the Cubase session with all the multi-tracks in it. So we have two kick drum recordings, one outside the drum, one microphone inside the drum. We have two snare microphones, one upside, one downside. We have a rec tom, we have a floor tom, we have a hi-hat microphone, and we have two overheads. Basically, I did some grouping, so I have one group for the kick, one for the snare, one for the toms, and I have some reverb for the snare, some reverb for the toms, and I have a group for the overheads. In the end, I have a drums bus and I have a parallel compression bus, but I will tell you more later on this. First thing I've done is to do some gain staging. So basically the recording was a little bit too hot for the plugins, so what I did is I reduced it around 5 dB overall with all the tracks, and so it's fine. So let's have a listen to the drums as they have been recorded without any processing. So, as you can tell, the recording is done very well. It sounds quite decent already without doing anything. The only thing that I have done is some panning, of course, so to create a stereo image. And I did some high pass and some low pass filters for various instruments. And of course, I had to reverse the phase for the snare drum. And also I decided to reverse the phase for the second kick drum because it sounded much stronger like this. So the kick drum, basically the idea was to emphasize the low end. This is how it sounds after the processing. And this is without. So you can hear you have the click of the bass drum, which is important, is quite present, but the low end is not enough. So here you have much more boom. I achieve this generally by adding some saturation, 2 dB boost, and especially when it comes to the EQ, to emphasize around the 70 Hertz and also around 4000 Hertz. Whereas, of course, to reduce the high end and to have some gentle compression in the end. So when it comes to the snare drum, basically without processing, there was, let's say, a missing low end as well, or let's say mid-range. The lower mids were not present enough, so you can hear how it sounds without processing. So you can hear the classic snare sound is quite well present, but around 200 hertz or even a little bit less. Here I boosted around 150, and also the very low end around 90 hertz is missing. So now after the processing, and without processing, besides this, of course, I added some reverb, classic snare reverb. So let's mute it. As you can hear, it's super dry, and with the ambience, it's even much more in your face. So now this is the drums mix after all the processing has been done. As you can hear, beside that it's much louder. The bass drum has more punch, especially in the low end. Also the snare is much more present, and I gave the entire kit some room. So with the drums bass overall, I decided to lead it to an aux channel and do some parallel compression. And I'm using here an emulation of a classic tube compressor, the Fairchild 670. And this is how it sounds. As you can see, I'm heavily compressing, going down to -7-8 dB. But I'm, let's say, tweaking it in, so without the compression. It sounds like this, and then I'm adding. Which gives the drums in the end even more punch. I've done many more things on these drums recordings. As you can see, on every channel I did some processing, I added some EQ, some compression, whatever. Of course I gated especially the toms, but it would take much too long to show everything in detail. I hope you liked the video. If so, please like and share. Maybe you can also subscribe and hit that notification bell button. Please stay tuned. See you soon. Have a great day. Bye.